Buckethead is in Fortnite. Yeah, you heard that right. Buckethead is in Fortnite. So, let's talk about it. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's your favorite mask collector's favorite mask collector, AJ Good, here at the House of Masks, where we unbox and review cool stuff almost every single day, but not today.
Not today, Satan.
No, and that is because I want to share with you guys something that I found seemingly randomly yesterday while browsing YouTube. I thought that this was pretty cool, and I hadn't seen anyone else talk about it, so I decided to just go ahead and make a video myself. And who better to cover some Buckethead lore than yours truly. So, Buckethead is in Fortnite. Yes, that Buckethead is in that game. Buckethead is in Fortnite. But why is Buckethead in Fortnite? Well, to put it as simple as it gets, Buckethead is in Fortnite because of Bootsy Collins. Now, I know that there's probably a fair bit of you out there that are regular viewers of my channel that just asked yourself, who's Bootsy Collins? And I'm glad that you asked, because now we get to take a lore dive. Bootsy Collins is a lot of things. Bootsy Collins is the #1 funketeer. Bootsy Collins is the ambassador of all things cool. He is an absolute legend. A long-time, world-renowned musician that is responsible for such classics as
I'd rather be with you until I'm through. Oh yes I do.
And who could forget
I'm just living and a loving, waiting for the moment when you got time to kill.
I mean, and just for the meme's sake, Bootsy Collins is the reason that we have footage and photos of Snoop Dogg, Buckethead, and the undercover brother together. It just doesn't get much cooler than that, does it? Yes, it does, because Bootsy is also a fellow Ohioan, Cincinnati to be exact, which, fun fact for you guys, is where we are holding PaleFest this year. Now, I could honestly go on and on and on and make a video that is way too long covering all of Bootsy's accolades, but I really want to talk about the Bootsy and Buckethead connection here. After all, this is a masked channel with a pretty devout Buckethead following. So, I'll set this part of the video up like this. Bootsy Collins might kinda, sorta, maybe be more responsible than anyone outside of Big B for the character that we know and love as Buckethead today. When Buckethead was a young buck, see what I did there? He sent Bootsy a VHS tape of himself shredding. And Bootsy was so into it, knowing that there was something special here, that he decided to fly Buckethead into Cincinnati, where Bootsy and Bucket ended up recording Buckethead Land at Bootsy's studio. Bootsy quite literally recorded and produced Buckethead Land. How crazy is that? But wait, there's more. Did you know that Bootsy Collins is also pretty much solely responsible for putting Praxis together? Yeah. Bootsy introduced those guys to Buckethead and heavily pushed for them to do a project together. But wait, there's more. Now, Buckethead has used the plain white mask a lot longer than he's used the bucket. And I want you guys to look at Buckethead next to Bootsy Collins, okay? That top hat and hair combo kinda look a lot like the bucket and hair combo, huh? And I don't think it's a secret at this point, even if you're just now learning about Bootsy Collins, but from the images that I've shown you guys, Bootsy is a pretty big fan of the theatrics. Space boots, star glasses, full-on funkadelic outfits. And I'll tell you what, Buckethead has definitely gone on record to credit Bootsy as a huge inspiration. Now, Bootsy and Bucket are obviously super close. You can hear Bootsy refer to Buckethead as his son on a handful of occasions, which I think is awesome. So wholesome. I love wholesome stuff. And while their relationship is pretty heavily documented, it's also crazy to think about how much stuff we don't know and how much stuff we haven't heard specifically. There are definitely some rumors about super sessions where Buckethead and Bootsy have just jammed for hours on end, and I really can't help but wonder what those super sessions sound like. These guys are just so intertwined, and I truly don't think that it gets enough recognition, which is part of the reason that I decided to kind of take this Fortnite idea that came to me, like it was literally given to me at random by the universe so that I could cover how cool Bootsy and Buckethead are together specifically and kind of tell their story, at least a little bit of it. And I could keep going for a very long time about the backstory and the history there between Bootsy and Bucket, but I'll sum it up like this. No Bootsy, no Buckethead. So now that you know a little bit about Bootsy Collins and his relationship to Buckethead, let's go ahead and talk about Buckethead in Fortnite. So, earlier this year, there was a custom Bootsy Collins map created for Fortnite where you can specifically play Capture the Funk. It's just a funkadized version of Capture the Flag in the form of beating the funk music. And of course, there are all sorts of Easter eggs hidden throughout this map, and a lot of those Easter eggs are Buckethead Easter eggs. All in all, just a super cool little mesh-up. You know, I've never been super heavy into Fortnite, although I did play briefly a few years back, but I'll tell you what, if there's one thing that makes me want to go play Fortnite again, it's the fact that I would get to play a Bootsy Collins and Buckethead related map. That is just so cool. It's 2026 and Buckethead and Bootsy have an actual map on Fortnite. Who would have thought? I mean, I would kill to have the church, the actual House of Masks, as a piece in a map on Fortnite. That would just be so sick. So yeah, dude, there is your little history lesson for the day. I hope that you guys learned something new. Maybe you learned something about Fortnite, or hopefully you learned something about Bootsy Collins. Maybe you learned something about Buckethead, I don't know. At the end of the day, I just happened to stumble across this and thought that it was a super cool topic, so I decided to make a video on it, and I've got to be honest, this was pretty fun. Going back and doing just a little bit of research here and there, and then telling you guys about something that we don't get to cover on the channel too often, like Buckethead, or even better, something that we've never really covered on the channel with Bootsy Collins. This is kind of what it's all about, so I hope that you guys have enjoyed this one. I appreciate you watching, and I appreciate all of the support. Now, if you guys would like to support further, I have merch over on my merch store. The link will be down below in the description. I sure would appreciate it if you went and picked something up. If you want to get more House of Masks content, and you want to get it early, then go over to my Patreon, become a $5 or higher tier member, and not only will you get all of the rewards on the site, but you will also be entered to win the monthly mask giveaway. And the masks that we've been giving away the last couple of months have been insane. Now, that being said, I'm pretty much done here. So, thank you guys again for watching. I appreciate you. And until next time, this has been AJ Good here at the House of Masks telling you to say no to drugs and alcohol, and maybe yes to a little Fortnite. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Hey! Want some masks? Well, I've got good news for you. Because for just $5, you could be entered to win masks from my collection. That's right, all $5 and higher patrons are now entered to win a monthly giveaway. That means once a month, I'm drawing a random name out of my patrons, and you guys are walking away with a free mask. Could be Slipknot, could be Myers, could be anything that's in the House of Masks. So go sign up today, support the House of Masks, and automatically be entered to win a free mask. New winner drawn on the 1st of the month, every month.